Don't be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Comment any other pro tactic or tactic you want to see in here in this vid. Alright, thanks. Look at Ronaldo's hair. It's the same joke as last time. Jesus. Okay, let's get into it. This is a 4-4-1-1 by a pro... Telio, I believe it is. Learn the names, dummy. That's way off. He's on balance and high depth. That's 70. We're going to change that. Okay, first quick change. We're talking about balance. Most pros tactics, I don't know if all of them, there's a lot of counter, but I think more times than not, they use balance because they have, 1 millisecond ping. And their players are all moving fast. I mean, they could use balance and 0 on the off rolls, and their players would move well. In tournaments, they play on basically different servers. So I talked to a few pros, and they say it's like a completely different game than playing on servers we play on. So, it's going to be different. The tactics they make, they're great players. So, I mean, it's not their fault. It's not their fault, but I'm not bashing on them or anything. I used to have below 5 milliseconds ping. The game was so fun. It was so much more fun. But also, last time I had it was like FIFA 23 and part of 24. They moved a data center away. I don't know how many miles away from me, but that definitely made a big difference. So I know it both ways, and it's a big difference. So that's why I think I have a good idea what we need to change here. But bounce, sure. He's at 70 depth. And the auto offside trap, you can't hear him, but he mentions that. And it's about 71. But if you're caught out in an offside trap and you have 20 ping, and you're playing somebody with minus 6 ping or below, you're got. You have nobody back. I mean, alright. So, unless we want to go nuts and use 95 depth, which we'll talk about that later. I love doing that. Later in the game, we get better players. I'm going to be making a lot of 95 depth tactics. Or every third one, I'll just put 95 depth on it. Or alter one you make and then put 95 depth. Put it on balance. 434, counter, 95 depth, aggressive. That's a lot of fun. Alright, but right now, we're going to stick that balance. So, we all get better teams and stuff like that. Let's just keep it at balance. Counter, but put the depth down to... on this one, I'm going to put it to 60. 61 starts high depth. I'll just put it at 61. You put it on high depth. I'll put it at 61. I've already made it. I just got to up it to that. And, alright, here, we'll make another change up. Better defender, if you got it, yep. Talks about the goalkeeper. If you use goalkeeper, defend, and you hold triangle and you try to go up a little bit, like 2 or 3 yards, you're trying to run out to the ball, sometimes they stop. They just, you keep holding triangle, they just will stop. It's insane. So, that's why I like at least goalkeeper balance, or sweeper keeper, something like that. Fullback defend, yeah. CDMs, we're going to have to change. I don't know, pros and their goddamn build-up on both CDMs, and I get it, because they can handle it. CDMs with build-up. Alright, you guys don't have the luxury of doing that, especially with, these basic, starter squads. I'm going to leave them at deep line playmaker, and we're just going to put out and defend. Just put both of them on defend. They'll still get up a little bit, because they're deep line playmakers. But to defend, they'll still stay back. If you want to send them forward, you can, because we're going to be on counter anyway, stuff isn't going to work. It's just kind of the best of both worlds, you want to say, but we're just going to be at 61 depths, like I said before, so, yeah. You might have issues with this if you put them on build-up. Go ahead and try it if you want. Hey, if you have the ping for it, go right ahead. But if you want to stay in the game, and just do that. We're going to put them on deep line playmaker, defend. Also, don't play 5 at the back. Don't be that guy. You know what I'm saying? What's the point? It's not fun. If you're having fun parking 9 players in the bus, and I saw one dude use Holland, the player of the month Holland. He was running back with Holland to play defense so he could have 10, 11 players in the box. What the F are y'all doing with that? How is that fun? And when you get forward, you're out of options. What are you gonna? You're gonna get forward, and you're gonna basically, your whole offense is, you hope you get lucky with an incisive pass or maybe a lob over the top to a fast player running out. That's it. You can't move. You can't tiki-taka much. I mean, if you get them up and you have to wait a little bit and get it set. And we want to play a game. We're not signing up for pro tournaments. We're not, maybe a little bit, but we're not signing up for, you know what I mean. We're not going all hardcore. Just for the average ping. Come on, man. Don't do that crap. You say you want to win and stuff, but just I know you're still breaking controllers. If you play 10 in the box, I know for a fact you're not any happier playing. If not, you're even angrier because you score less goals, and then you complain that why I can't stop any goals with even 11 in the box. So, no, cut that out. Even though I am gonna make a 5 at the back tactic, but it's not gonna be park the bus. So don't worry about that crap. All right, next. Wingers are on balance, focus. Inside forward, yeah, but we're gonna change that. Focus. Okay, wingers again. Has them on balance. Good for low ping. High ping, let's get those, like board, let's get those goddamn wingers up the pitch, like I always say. So let's put them on attack. We put one on attack, but since both left back and right back are on fullback or fullback defend, we're gonna keep that. We're just gonna put them on both attack. It's on counter. We're at high depth, 61 depth, not 70. It'll be all right. We're gonna get them forward. And now the cam, I do agree with Playmaker on the cam to connect the lines. Shadow Striker really wasn't working very well in the first week or something. But there's been like 16 patches already, so it works pretty good. But I still like Playmaker, especially Tiki Taka, especially with counter. I like Playmaker because he doesn't go too far ahead. It's kind of a late run anyway. Shadow Striker, but the Playmaker, you have an easy access pass, and you can play a lot of give and goes, and you got that open spot in there, and then hit L1 and pass to a striker. He'll run in the box. Even if you don't pass it to him, kind of pretend like you are, move a little bit towards that Playmaker running in the box when you send him. But L1 plus the direction, pass and do that. Press pass into the direction. Now, if you send them, they're gonna mark that player going in, so you can even turn towards them or move up a little like you're gonna pass to him, and then just bolt forward or something like that, or just pass off. It kind of messes with them because they have to mark that player going in the box. They can't just leave them, and if they don't mark them, we'll pass it to them. Good for you. But it's one of the best ways I found out to just either take a mark away from your defender because they're gonna mess up. They're gonna do one or the other. They're gonna mark it or not, and either way, you're gonna have a good opening there. And then once you throw them off guard a little bit, they have to completely reset. So they have to do something. And either way, that gives you a little bit of a jump on them. That's all you want. You want a half a second where they have to think about something, and then you can make a pass, and then you're gonna have an opening after that. Your second, third pass, you should have an easy shot, especially if you can dribble really well. Remember to use when you accept a pass, you can use L1 and open up. L1 open up, and change point the direction away from the defender when you're accepting the pass, so they'll open up with that foot. You can have an easy finesse shot right away, or just a banger in the near post, something like that. Or you can open up and then go back the other way, but you can do a fake open up and go back. Use it open up and go to the goddamn arena and just practice some dribbling move. The easiest move, do an elastico, step over, just practice them. I used to do it when I added one defender and the goalkeeper. And I got the moves down, and then I added 2 defenders, and then 3, so I could really get a hang. And then once you're in the game, in Rivals, whatever weekend league, and especially if you're not really high division, it's going to just start clicking what you're going to do, and then you can move up and up and up. Practice crossing, low crossing, hold L1, and hold square in, and it whips in a low cross, or just you can hold square and tap it again. It's like a low-driven shot, it's a low-driven cross. It works so well if you have an open player in there. And I remember like he was talking about incisive pass, but you guys couldn't hear him. Incisive pass on the cam, which is great to have. Now, you're going to use incisive pass, right? But just remember, it's not always going to work with these dang play styles correctly. You have to have a play style of incisive pass for it to work at all. Is so ridiculous. Why I think these play styles probably, I don't know if they ruined the game, but they really, of course they didn't ruin the game, but they just really, they messed it up where you have to have certain play styles for players to even make the pass. They might make it, 20% of the time if they don't have it, or if it's just wide open ridiculous. I don't know. Just learn some moves and learn how to do those low German crosses and stuff like that. And you can do the low German crosses from almost the middle, and if you have a guy running in, you'll learn this. You'll have some fun with it. And those kind of plays where you do those kind of low German and quick passes and you score from them, it's really fun. It makes the game a lot of fun. We're here to have fun, all right? We're going to make these tactics a lot of fun. We're going to get your asses moving. Your guys moving. Pardon my French. Whoops. Sorry, babe. Playmaker on cam. I agree with that. It connects the lines really well. You comment any other pro tactic or tactic you want to see in here in this vid. All right, thanks. Look at Ronaldo's hair. Ah.